Hey, how's it going, everyone? And welcome back to the Power Up Podcast. Today, I'm joined by my co-host once again, GRIZZ Zombies or GRIZZ Viollent, whatever you guys like to call them. How's
What's up,
it going, man?
Pretty good, dude. We finally got through the Rave in the Redwoods Easter egg. Feeling good about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're going to be talking about this whole podcast for the most part, guys. Once again, if you have a guest you would like on the show, make sure to comment it down below. But this episode's primarily going to be talking about Rave in the Redwoods and our thoughts on the map, because last time we were kind of doing what we thought it was going to be like. So overall, GRIZZ, what do you think of Rave in the Redwoods?
Well, I think the follow-up for the Wonder Weapon was pretty good. Crossbows. I mean, we're used to the bows in GRIZZ and Drac. And as we know, this DLC 1... everyone was looking at it like, is this going to be the GRIZZ and Drac map for Infinite Warfare Zombies? And I still don't know. I don't have a good answer for that in the big picture of things, because we don't know the whole story. We've never been experienced, or we don't have previous experience with this storyline, except for Zombies in Spaceland. So judging it in that same manner isn't the right way to go about it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a pretty solid job with setting up the map. I thought it was really cool. The overall ability to have all those wonder weapons and get them pretty early is cool, and that's what I like about the map. It's simple, but at the same time, I would have liked to see a lot more steps because it was solved so fast.
6
Literally,
hours.
Yeah. And
6 hours.
It's crazy, man. But overall, I mean, it's still a pretty decent map, and it's definitely, in my opinion, it didn't lose replayability yet for me.
Right.
I would assume that's probably going to start happening like this week at some point, but I like how we had double XP all week, and then now it's double crypto key weekend. What you guys are watching in the background is the game we just had, where we did the Easter egg on round 6. So it is possible to do it even earlier than that as well. So what do you think are some of the best tactics to use when doing the Easter egg at early rounds?
What was something that you showed me? There's a Fate and Fortune card in particular that you use with the M1 that you can get in the spawn room. And
scope dollars.
It's amazing. It's by far one of the most amazing Fate cards, and it's not even a Fortune card, it's a Fate card.
Yeah, so you get 300 points for each shot, or kill, that you kill a zombie with, but a thing that not a lot of people know is if you actually get collaterals, then you get more points, and I think I talked about this in another video. So if you get like a triple collat headshot with one shot from the M1, that counts as one kill with scope dollars, and you get 900 points for that. Also, if you go into Rave mode, you get double points as well when using it, so you can get 1,800 points for getting a triple collat with scope dollars. Like, it's ridiculously OP, and it's a great way to open up the entire map. If you guys are playing with friends, I recommend having one person get a majority of the kills, and that way he can use his scope dollars first, open up the entire map, and then you can use it as well, and then you can share points to get guns packed, get perks, things like that. That's a great method. That's what we did, and honestly, like, we could have probably done the Easter egg a lot earlier. We just got a little bit unlucky as far as killing the slasher. But one thing I want to mention, the freaking gas grenades, guys, are the most effective thing for this boss fight. If you have gas grenades, you're literally going to complete the boss fight with barely any problems, at least for killing the slashers.
Absolutely. Everything you said is true, and if I could add anything to it, it would be that when you're using scope dollars? The headshots is everything. So Greg was saying that collaterals is what's going to get you the most money. Well, make sure you're only getting headshots, because say you don't get a collateral, keep shooting at their head and you will still maximize your points. For some reason, that will still work. So if it takes 2 shots to shoot off their head and you get a few headshots, if it's only 2, it's fine. You're still going to make a ton of money, but that's the way you want to do it, is just to get headshot collaterals, and anywhere between 2 to 4 at a time is what's going to make you the most money. And the reason Greg says to do it one after another is because after I use up all my money, say I'm the first guy that gets all the cash to start up with, to buy all the doors, I'm still going to be short for things that we got to do. And Greg would come in as the second player and polish off all the rest of the wall buys, door buys, and everything like that, so that way we can complete Pack a Punch and finish the rest of the map. And that's pretty much how we did it to go to round 6. It took us to round 6. A lot of people have got it done sooner, but I'm really proud of round 6. That's a good marker so far.
Yeah, another thing I want to mention is that the melee weapons in spawn are a scam. Don't get them. It's not worth it.
It's true.
At all. It's just not worth it at all. So, I have a thing that I want to go through. We're going to take a look at some of the different aspects from this map, and I want you to give me a scale on 1 to 10 of how well you think they did.
Okay.
So the first one we're going to be taking a look at is fun factor. Is it a new experience? What about the map?
Fun factor. Well, between the weapon perks that you can get just from the candy charms, I think that brings a whole other level of gameplay, especially once you find ones you like. And I don't think everybody's figured out what everyone does. I mean, we got to still figure out some of them. Some of them are obvious, where you can run through water and stuff, which is really awesome. I think that brings a whole nother level of fun to it. Pack a Punch is more like a mission to get there instead of a tedious process where you power them up and go through 4 different portals. I think that is more fun when you collect 3 parts and put it together, because that's what we're used to when it all began. So I'm gonna say between an 8 or a 9 for fun.
Yeah, I'd agree with 8. I would say. The next one is the main boss fight. Do you think that it's challenging enough? And what would you rate it overall as, with all the parts of that boss fight?
I think they smashed it out of the park with the boss fight. I mean, there's ways you can look at it like it's not challenging enough. And then again, you have all these new players coming to Infinite Warfare. I mean, think about who's really buying this game. Everyone who's really sick of this game has already given up. And even if they're playing this, they're not taking it as seriously anymore. So for the new guys playing this, and they can actually get to the boss fight, they're loving it, dude. And I think that's awesome. That 100% makes the boss fight good. And it's challenging. There's quite a few things you got to do, and you can fail pretty quickly if you mess up. So I think there's a certain level of talent that you need in order to accomplish the boss fight, and that also makes it good, because it's not spoon-fed to you.
Yeah. So what would you rate it overall?
I would say for boss fight, a 6.
6, just because it's not hard enough.
Well, I think when you think of hard boss fight, you think of Horizon Drac, and that was a real challenge. That tested every limit that you almost had, especially if you're doing it solo. And now, I mean, this boss fight anybody can do, honestly. But for the new guys that are testing it out for the first time, this is still going to be quite a challenge for them. And the longevity of the boss fight itself is what I found to be more amazing than anything. There's quite a few segments that you got to go through.
This is something I realized after I completed the boss fight for the first time. I realized that basically Infinity Ward took a page out of Treyarch's book for this Easter egg. You have, you have the pieces that you need to collect to do the thing, which is basically the same as the SETICOM, but they pretty much took that from Garage, where you have to get the trophies and do challenges for each one. Even that transcends with the charms as well. But in the actual boss fight for the Horizon Drac, you have those. You're killing zombies, not necessarily killing anything up on the Horizon Drac. Then you have to shoot the boss. You shoot the boss on this map. I mean, it's pretty similar, and they pretty much carbon copy, which I don't really mind, because Horizon Drac had a really good Easter egg. I'd rate it like a 7 out of 10. I think that it's good, but it is pretty easy, so a lot of people are able to do it, which is a good thing. But at the same time, it's still pretty fun and challenging as well. So now we're going to talk about the charms, because the charms are really cool, and once again, we don't really know excuse me, what each one does. But do you think the charm Easter eggs, and like, do you think they're worth getting? Do you think it's a cool little like challenge to do? And
I say 10 out of 10, dude.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say the same thing.
I
really
support ingenuity, dude, and I think that's something that a lot of these companies have been lacking. I mean, I'm not gonna bash on Sledgehammer too much, but as for going outside of the box, Infinity Ward really stepped their game up here in this DLC.
Yeah, I mean, they had the charms already on guns that were just cosmetic. So the fact that they incorporated that into the zombies map and added a whole new thing, I thought was really cool. And we also learned a ton of stuff about the overall story from those charms. All the quotes that we got from different people that were trapped in Rave in the Redwoods. Even his own, Willard Wyler's own daughter was trapped in there and killed, and she was pregnant with her husband. I mean,
that just shows a lot of effort too.
The amount of story that we got on this map was what I've been waiting for.
Definitely.
And as long as they continue to do this, I definitely think it's good, because it took a, like, you know, on the first map, we didn't get anything, man. It was a park. We got these 4 characters that got sucked in, and that's literally it. Now on this map, everything's changed. The characters are changed up, and we got to listen to all these quotes, and it really goes to show that Lee Ross cares. We might not have gotten it on the first map, but at least he developed a pretty nice story in this map. We learned that Willard Wyler's wife died from cancer when you go down and you go into the Afterlife arcade. I kind of wish they changed that up, like maybe an Afterlife Lodge type thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, we still got that, which is cool.
Well, what do you think about the inventory itself? It definitely changed a bit since Zombies in Spaceland. We had the whole left side, pretty much the Easter egg / wonder weapon, and then the whole right side's the charms. Whereas before, we had the exquisite, which I believe is taking place of the charms. So we now have charms, and that, I don't know, you know?
Honestly,
I like it.
I like
it's changing though.
I like the fact when there's a lot of stuff to get. I think that they should have definitely moved the parts. They should have had multiple locations for each of the parts for the boat. I think it would have made it a little bit more challenging. That should have been a thing, and also even the picture. I think those should have been in different places, because it makes the Easter egg too easy.
Let's talk about Easter egg rewards for a second, because I feel like this is something maybe that's lacking a little bit, and maybe not enough people talk about it for it to really become a thing. The Easter egg reward itself for beating the boss fight, we get the soul key, we see the cutscene. We're not rewarded with full perks at the end.
Yeah, well, I think that's dependent on the Ghosts and Skulls too, which, by the way, no one has found anything yet for. Which is pretty interesting to think about. But we do get the chainsaw smiley. So what do you think about that?
That I think is the best thing that they could have done for this situation, because I'm starting to get the feeling like we put all this work in to beat the Easter egg, and then we don't get the regular reward of all perks, and that is a bummer to me. But at the same time, they replaced that with Ghosts and Skulls, which is just another Easter egg entirely that we have to figure out. And in Zombies in Spaceland, it sucked. I hated the Ghosts and Skulls in Zombies in Spaceland, and I'm really hoping that this one's good. I just do not want it to be a carbon fiber copy. I can't say that right now. A carbon fiber copy of the same thing. I don't want to play that same Ghosts and Skulls game. I want it to be different.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely. So as far as like let's talk about the Sasquatches for a minute. Do you think that those were a more challenging addition rather than like the clowns that we saw before?
I would say yeah, because of the spawns. Like, they spawn and come at you pretty quick from all kinds of angles, and of course it's one hit, you know, you're like red Whereas you get hit by a clown from a distance, you may not go red. You can actually tell it was just a little bit of damage that hit you.
Yeah, I remember even on the first clown round on Spaceland, like, if I needed melee kills, I'd just straight up walk up to the clowns and punch them, dude.
Well, you ain't gonna do that against these Yetis.
Well, you can use the melee weapons, but once again, those are a complete waste of money because you get 60 points instead of 130 if you use your fists. So it's like, I'm obviously gonna get double points, then
True.
Just get.
And heaven
60.
forbid you miss.
Yeah. But I forgot to talk about this. They actually changed the smiley chainsaw. Originally, it was completely overpowered. I know of people who were going past round 110, just literally sitting in one spot, killing the slasher with the chainsaw, killing all the Yeti Sasquatch guys, and all the zombies. Now they actually implemented a change where they updated it, and now you said that it uses basically
at least
one
from what
shot.
I saw, you could shoot the saw blade still, and that would count as one ammo. But every time you hold the trigger down on the left side, because you have a left and a right trigger that you can use for the saw. Left trigger is just the automatic saw blade that keeps going. Well, you run into a zombie, it takes your bullet, like, pretend there's a bullet in or a saw blade in it, it's 14 or whatever. It takes one away and auto reloads it. So you have no say in it. Like, however many zombies you kill, takes a bullet away, takes a saw blade away, and eventually it runs out of ammo and you're just left with this blank chainsaw. And so that's what it's like after patch now.
What do you think of the overall map layout?
The map layout I think is good. They did skip one zip line, which kind of bugs me, which goes straight to the docks. They didn't throw one in for that. And I really wish that was... It's just the whole side of the house when you go upstairs, it's blocked. Like, there's just nothing there for a zip line. So I think other than that, the map layout's good. I like that the house is a center point where you zip line everywhere. I think that helps huge.
I really like the fact that the actual crossbows were in the starting room at first.
Yeah.
I thought that step was really unique. Throwing frickin' sausages at deer. I mean,
it's a little random, but it's...
What the hell?
Overall, the crossbows is cool. I love the crossbows, man. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And then we just found out that you can actually upgrade the crossbows very easily. It's not near as hard as we thought when we were actually testing it.
Ninja Nation found out that if you shoot the actual, whatever it's called, the actual figure, when it's already placed down, after you already, charged it or whatever at the stage, if you place it down, all you have to do is shoot the statue 10 times with the bow, not get any kills, and you can upgrade it.
How much ammo you get in that thing right away, the Vlad?
I believe isn't it 20?
It's something like that. And you only need 10.
Yeah, so you take 10 shots, boom, you can get it upgraded. Obviously, I would definitely recommend getting the Owl and the Stag. I think those are the two best.
Yeah, it's the Wind and the Lightning.
Yeah, I mean, the Lightning one's good for the Wolf, and that one's pretty cool,
You gotta shoot the ground. Oh, that's the Wolf one, right? Is the Lightning?
Yeah, the Lightning one. And then the Trap-O-Matic one, it still hasn't sold to me. I don't think it's worth using. I don't think it's good. I just don't understand the draw for that crossbow at all. Why dual wield? I mean, you can shoot it on either... Yeah, you can shoot on either side, and zombies, if they run over it, they disintegrate, which is cool. But at the same time, it's not something you can just shoot at a zombie and take care of it, like you can do with various of the other builds, like literally all the other builds. So I don't think that one is up to par with the other ones. So they definitely should have done something better, I think, for that. But overall, I would say that the Wonder Weapons are pretty cool. The upgrade process is pretty cool. It's really easy and not too hard. And I like that those figurines, statues, are in 9 different places. So there's 9 possible areas instead of just 4. So like 5 of the places will not happen every game. So I think that that's pretty good number as far as like having to know where things are. And honestly, like that kind of changes up the meta of how fast you can complete the map, depending on which statues are where. Like obviously, if you get the eagle in the first place, and then you realize, okay, well I'm not going to bring that into the boss fight, so I'm going to open up another door that hopefully will have, you know, like the owl or the stag instead.
That's what we kept running into every time we were trying to get a lower round and lower round. So we got round 6, which overall is good, but we kept running into these small issues where maybe we weren't getting a backpack that would drop cash. The other thing is we would open up doors, we wouldn't have the statue we needed, so we kept opening up another door, and just little things like that will keep racking up. So lucky rolls as well. While your game's got to have a lucky roll too if you're going to get a low round beating that Easter egg.
Definitely, yeah. And that's another reason why Scope Dollars is so good for getting points. But we did find out one thing that I think was the first time anyone's really done this on the map, and that was the whole thing with the zombies and having backpacks and not having backpacks. Right. So what me and Grizz did was we turn on power on around 3 or 4, and then we would leave 2 zombies. 2 of them are going to spawn at a time. So basically we'd start down below on the way to power when we're basically inside of that train track area. We're about to walk into it. We'd get 2 zombies spawn. We'd run out and up to the left, outside, towards the mess hall. We'd let the zombies respawn and then keep going back and forth, and each time it would cause new zombies to spawn.
True.
If the zombies had backpacks, they would drop the backpacks when they die and respawn on the other side. So you could run back, grab whatever was in the backpack, and keep going back and forth. And that is a very, very good tactic because you can get 1,000-point drops. You can get just drops in general. That's how we've gotten gas grenades. I mean, this thing works so perfectly, and you can do this on literally any round as long as it's a far enough distance. So we found that, you know, power to, you know, near the mess hall and just keep going back and forth, that's going to keep cycling through, and it worked out really, really well. Like, there was, yeah, it might have taken us 20 minutes, but by the time we were done, we had enough points to buy like 2 $1,500 doors and, you know, also have gas grenades at the same time, which was ridiculously good. And once again, just to elaborate about the gas grenades, they are ridiculously OP because it insta-kills the slasher when you're doing the Easter egg steps. It makes crawlers when you're doing the second step at the stage, so you can just throw a gas grenade, basically fill up the entire thing pretty much instantly with one gas grenade if you have like a train. And then also, even in the boss fight at the end, after you shoot all the symbols off of his body, you can throw a gas grenade and once to kill him as well. So,
and that's the thing, shoot the symbols off first, because we tried chucking the gas grenades while the symbols were on there, and just slight confusion, but after you shoot those off, he'll go down really fast, just the same as a slasher. And what you do is you hit the gas grenades down, and then you have to shoot him, and it takes like 2 to 5 bullets, and usually he'll go down right away and pop that max ammo. Except the boss, of course, he just goes down. But the other thing I was going to add with your tactic there for getting the backpacks is that there's a certain rhythm that you have to get, and that rhythm is very important because if you're traveling back and forth from downstairs in the basement up over to Bang Bangs to actually pull the spawn, come back upstairs through spawn over to the waterfall area, you have to get a rhythm down. As soon as they spawn, you run back, you go downstairs, you see them spawn, go back, and you'll find a happy medium eventually in between there. And there are points in our gameplay where we're actually getting that back and forth, and they were just dropping backpacks. We're just going to backpack, checking them out. And there's other times where they don't have backpacks when they spawn in, and you got dead spawns. But you get that rhythm down, it goes pretty quick.
Yeah, and sometimes even if they don't have backpacks, you still get drops too.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
Yeah, I know there are a few times where that happened.
But it works.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you think about there being basically no perks that are new?
Right.
Yet. I mean, we still don't know the Ghosts and Skulls. I think there's definitely a possibility that there could be more perks that you get from that, because
I think
you got Perkaholic.
There's a little bit more to this question than you're asking, because the Ghosts and Skulls is going to give us all the perks. And in my head, I'm thinking, is that the best way to enjoy each perk individually that we're getting that's new? Like, what if we get 2 new perks and there's no way, like, you can separate them? You know what I mean? They always got to be together because you get the Perkaholic, pretty much, from Ghosts and Skulls. And, yeah, we don't actually get to unlock it from the map. See, that's the give and take yet of not knowing, is that I really want to know, can we unlock it on the map itself, and we'll actually have a perk machine, and then we can test out the perk individually, or do we have to test it as the Perkaholic itself with all the perks?
Yeah, I agree. One thing that really kind of upset me with the whole map was, you know, we did the Zombies in Spaceland Easter egg, and that was a lot of hard work. It was very hard. It was very
alien
difficult.
fuses.
And we had the ability to double pack-a-punch. Well, now, if you play in a game with someone who's already double pack-a-punched, or if you've never completed the Easter egg, there's alien fuses that you can just pick up on the map and bring them to pack-a-punch and be able to double pack-a-punch. Now, I understand that they want to give everyone a chance at that, but having something that you only unlock on the map before is something that really was important to me, and I think that that's a good reward until I found out that they could get it, everyone else could get it. And I mean, even if you didn't do it, guys, I'm gonna be honest, like, I honestly think that they need to have map exclusive rewards for people who are going through the entire Easter egg.
Well, I don't think that's a bad thing to think about either, because it's so true. And I think because Zombies is technically still a new thing, we're basically in the second greatest game besides like Black Ops 2 and stuff, but the appreciation really came with Black Ops 3. 100% full on, the most money ever spent in Zombies on the title was Black Ops 3. And so, relatively still new is this community that we've built, a Zombies community. It's been around for a long time, but it's never been as poppin' as it is today. And so where I'm going with this is that the game modes that we're playing are still young. They're going to develop over time, and we're going to eventually get what we want. But right now, we're just seeing the baby steps. And there's, of course, going to be a lot of things that they leave out. But it's just because it's getting started. Yeah. We got so much more Zombies and seasons to go. And things are only going to get better. So the little things that we're experiencing now that we don't have, it's soon to come. It will eventually get to that point, because it's got to catch up with the rest of the world. The rest of the world has these amazing games with different game modes and ways to play, and so we're eventually going to get there. I feel we are, 100%.
Yeah, so speaking of Rave in the Redwoods, what were your thoughts on the Rave aspect before the map came out and actually on the map when you're playing?
So Rave mode, Rave mode. At first, of course, I thought the map was just going to be a complete joke. I thought this is where we lose it. We kind of go off the rails a little bit. And Rave mode is still pretty special. I mean, it's not enough to wreck the mode, and it's not enough to make it great. I feel like it definitely represents just tripping on drugs at a rave. Because that's what you do at a rave, is you drop some serious drugs, either it's pills or something like that, and that's completely what it's doing. And there's no other way around it. That's what's happening when you're doing this rave mode. So, does it draw away from the story? No, I don't think it does. The slasher is... The fact that you can only see a slasher when you go into rave mode is just another thing, like you're tripping, you know? So it does have an intertwining thing with drugs. And so rave mode is still... It's okay. It's okay, but it's not great, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd kind of agree with it. I would say that it was a cool idea. It was very worrisome with the first trailer, especially. but I think that once we realized how it was gonna be,
Yeah.
and after using it, it's really not as bad as we thought. I like how you have to get the pouches in order to activate it. It's not just something you can activate constantly. And I like how there's so many different places on the map. You can do it in a fireplace, you can do it in a fire pit, you can do it at a bonfire. They're all over.
What do you think of the fairies?
And oh, dude, the fairies is where you know they're taking like pills.
Right.
I mean, that was just weird, but I think it's cool that it adds time. If you get kills in Rave mode, though, it decreases it.
Right.
Which is another thing.
I will give them props for ingenuity again on that Rave mode, because it's something we've never seen, and the fairies extending the duration, the fact that they thought ahead just for that, it just shows that they're good developers, and that I think for a great first this is a great first project, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
ever since Extinction, going straight to zombies this time, it's like they're doing well.
They definitely don't get enough credit.
Yeah.
And the reason is because people are comparing it to Treyarch Zombies, and you just can't. It's totally different. Yes, it's zombies, and the core is still there, but you gotta take it for what it's worth. This is their take on it. It's different. We have a whole different storyline, arc, and all that stuff, which is different. You know, it's a lot.
What else would you like to see? Like, let's just talk for just a split second about Sledgehammer. For just a split second. Won't take too much time.
Well, I definitely don't want Exo Zombies, because that was just terrible. Let's be real. Like, the Easter eggs were actually pretty decent on those maps. They were pretty unique. They were different, and they were not the easiest thing. They couldn't get solved in 6 hours.
Right.
The thing about it is that having the EMP zombies, that kind of ruined it for me completely, where you're screwed. If you get EMP'd, you can't jump and you're done. I just thought that was stupid. I think that the way they handled it in creating something that wasn't there from the start, I think they'd actually saved their butts pretty good. Especially on not Burger Town was kind of like the turning point. That was like the last bad map, right, I would say. And then when they had the one on the water, I can't think of the names of them. And then the last one was pretty good as well. So I think that was cool. And then you had like the whole black and white thing where you could go back and do the Easter eggs in black and white and get all the trophies at the end. I thought was cool. The wonder weapons were pretty cool. The Cell 3 was fun.
So I bring this up because there's a little thing going around in the community right now where people are thinking this could go one of two ways. Where Sledgehammer chooses, we're not going to do exo zombies. Do they scrap zombies, first of all, and go back to their stupid survival mode? Do they take that option so there's no risk involved? Or do they actually make a zombies mode? And my expectations for it, I'm thinking they need to do a survival mode where you like pick up items and stuff and put it on your character. It's completely customizable. It's a whole different survival aspect. It's not what we're used to. You know, it's more like The Last of Us style. Like a whole different style of zombies. I think that's where they're going to succeed. Versus trying to be like Treyarch. Is they need to just come up with a whole new style. And I think there's different ways you can look at survival aspects. Versus what we're used to.
I can totally understand that. That would be cool to see. So let's backtrack a little bit. I think we only have a couple more topics to go through.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think about the characters being changed, and do you like which character group do you like more?
Sure. Well, the new guys are. There's just not enough depth with these characters, you know, and that's kind of the overall flaw that I'm having with myself, is that I can't care about these characters because I just don't feel passion for them in the right ways. And I think it's because I don't know enough about each one. But what I'm not sure of is that as we go through this DLC season, are we seeing different personalities of that person?
Yeah.
know? Because everyone's got different sides to them. I could have a good side, but everyone's got a bad side as well. But what is that bad side like? What is that good side like? Is that what we're seeing through the DLCs? Different aspects of their personality.
Yeah, I still feel like the characters are kind of lackluster.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice having, Willard Ryler staying the same, being crazy as hell. Basically being almost a pedophile on this new map. With the other people, actors and stuff. But let's take one more look at traps.
Traps. Okay.
Oh man. Okay.
There's still one trap I haven't used, and that's the waterfall. I haven't seen what that does.
The waterfall just basically makes zombies ragdoll and die.
Okay.
And then we have the speakers, which we have used, which is
Very
think
cool.
Probably one of the best traps that we've seen in Infinite Warfare Zombies. We have the flogger, but it's not a flogger because it's actually a log swing that swings back and forth and doesn't go completely around like the flogger does. So I'm glad they didn't directly copy that one. And then we have the fish trap in the water, which I think is probably the most effective trap so far in zombies in general.
Yeah.
It was OP.
I think the traps are good. I just never use them, I'm always killing zombies, I guess, for the reason that I need money. I got things to do. I got doors to open, and I guess
when you use the fish trap, you actually get all the points back.
Yeah, I think traps are something you use kind of after you beat the Easter egg or after you've pack-a-punched and got your perks. Kind of something you want to just try out, or I guess high-round guys. I imagine the high-round guys go to town on those traps.
For sure.
I'm liking Rave in the Redwoods, though. I'm not playing it too much, enough to overplay it. Maybe once or twice a night. And I think by doing it that way, I'm not going to get sick of it right away. With Zombies in Spaceland, it was like, are we going to crack this Ghost and Skulls Easter egg? Are we going to crack this roller coaster Easter egg every day, going hard at it? It gets sickening and tiring doing that much all the time, but you spent some good time.
Messed up my sleep schedule
with
this, and I did play it a lot, but we'll definitely see how it progresses in the future. So the thing I want to end it with is after completing the Easter egg, we get the cutscene. We get them onto the train. We have the whole what looked like disco
fever in the underground subway tunnel.
So what time period, first of all, and
70s.
Do you think that this has any correlation with Disco Devil, the poster that we saw on Space Edge?
That is a good theory, and part of what I want to bring to the table with this is that I think they're symbolic, the posters we've seen, of what's to come. I don't think they're even close to exact replicas of what we're gonna see for hints. I think that would have been too predictable if we knew that. So I think they're depictions of what's to come, but they're not actual images.
Okay.
But I think you're right. I think the Disco Devil is definitely the teaser for what's coming next. And it may not be an exact thing that we can pick stuff from, be like, oh, this may be part of the map, this might be something, because it's on the actual Disco Devil picture. It's just that it's a representation overall of what's to come, not that it actually means something right now on the poster.
So what are you thinking as far as time period?
Definitely the 1970s. I don't think we're going further into the future. I mean, it was nice that we went from the 80s to the 90s, but I think we're going to the 70s, and I think people are tired of more and more futuristic stuff, and I think they knew that. So if they could change anything in this futuristic game, they probably wanted to control the zombies portion most of all. And so I think by going back to the 70s, they're doing the right thing. Disco Fever, I mean, I don't know what to expect for the next map, but I'm excited, man. You know, I don't know where the story's going. I think with you being on the charm thing, saying these quotes are key. I think you're right, 100%. I think adding more quotes to bigger parts of the Easter egg is everything. That's what's going to give us more storyline. That's what I like most about Rave and the Redwoods. I think that they knocked it out of the park with storyline quotes. They went way out of their way, hiring voice actors to pull it off, and there was a lot this time around.
Yeah, it was like 18 minutes of quotes.
Yeah,
Wild.
and that's awesome. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to continue to see that. So I think that's pretty much it for this week's episode. We'll see how it changes next week. Next week we're definitely gonna try to get a guest and do a little bit better planning wise. This week we were just so swamped once again making videos that we didn't really think about it. But this is the Power Up Podcast. Every single Sunday we upload this. So if it's something you enjoy, make sure to check out both of our channels in the description. I'm sure you guys would like our content, whether you're from mine or GRIZZ's.
Definitely.
And
thanks for stopping by too.
Yeah, and thanks for stopping by. And if you made it all the way till the end, you guys are the real MVPs. We appreciate it a lot. This is just kind of a passion project that I've been wanting to do for a while, and GRIZZ was right on board with me. And we're sticking to it.
It's just a way to get everything off our chest that we've been doing all week. Finally come to a point where we can talk about it and hash it all out. It's good. It's healthy.
Well, let's end it with one more thing. What video this week would you highly recommend from your channel that you think was the best work that you've done?
Best work. I'm going to go with my patch notes video that I just put out. And I do say that the Kindle is a wall buy on Zombies in Spaceland. So I'll note ahead of time, it's a starting weapon. But yeah, everything else is solid in that video. Patch, latest update, and that's what's new with my channel anyway. But you had quite a few videos yourself, Greg. How about you?
Yeah, I was really putting out a lot of stuff. I think the best video that I put out was probably the low round strategies. I think that those were really some of my best work this week, at least.
Definitely.
I definitely grinded a lot and put a lot of time and effort into those videos, even on launch day. And I think the best thumbnail I made though all week was the gas mask one for
that looked good. That was good.
That was killing the slasher. That one looked cool. But I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much once again for watching. We appreciate it. We had some gameplay in the background from our game, and I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next week with a brand new episode of the Power Up Podcast. See you guys then.
Take care, guys.
Go Patriots.